do you wonder why workouts feel harder in menopause, even though you're doing the same thing? Now, there is a way to train smarter, recover faster, and feel energized when you're doing your workouts, because basically when we're in menopause, we've got lower estrogen, really, and that slows the recovery down in our bodies, because estrogen helps regulate muscle repair and energy, basically. And it just takes longer to bounce back because our bodies aren't what they used to be. They're transitioning into the, post-menopause type thing. Our bodies are trying to get used to lower estrogen. And it almost rewires your brain. It is actually rewiring your brain, new pathways, everything like that for you. So it becomes the new normal. Your body's just trying to adjust, all right? And cortisol stays higher longer. So when we used to do intense workouts, intense workouts spike cortisol as well. And that's a stress hormone, and that makes you fatter, basically, right? So you can do intense exercise, but you don't want to do like lots of it. I do probably 2 25 to 30-minute sessions max every week, 1 or 2. But menopause in menopause, it's naturally higher cortisol anyway because of the adjustments that's going on inside your body, just trying to adapt. So there's more fatigue, more inflammation, and fat storage is happening more. It is a little bit frustrating, but we've got to learn this sort of stuff so we can adapt and get better. And, you have to really, look at these things, because there's nothing worse when you're doing the same thing expecting a different result. Because that's what I was doing. I was doing it for ages and I couldn't work it out. And then I was like, oh, yeah, I'm going through menopause. That's what's going on. All right. So here are some smarter training ideas for you. All right. Not that you need to look with what I do. I help people lose weight, lose up to 20 kilos in 10 weeks. All right. With real food, personal support, and zero gym time. You actually don't need to exercise much at all. You just need to walk. You just need to get some movement in, and the rest is all nutrition. But once I kind of get people to that point and they want to work on their health a little bit more during menopause, there's certain things that ideally you want to do, but we don't do that until we've got the base right. We need to get a base. Right. Then we start, adding on things as well. But if you're already training and you want some ideas, more isn't always better. That we've kind of been taught that way, and it's because of the military. Exercise comes from the military, and that's where that go hard or go home attitude, go hard or go home attitude kind of originated, and it was basically for men, the type of training. It wasn't designed for women. Even the testing these days is designed on men population. But yeah, more isn't always better. But what you want to do is gentle strength sessions, gentle, nice body weight exercise. You got to push yourself a little bit, but you don't want, you just want the exercise to be gentle. And walking is incredibly important. It really is that lower, steady state cardio type thing and that decreases cortisol. You want to be getting movement. You want to be getting your 10,000 steps every day. You want to be really conscious of that, getting movement happening. And it is really good to do that first thing in the morning because it brings the cortisol down. And you want to factor in your rest days. You don't want to be, going to the big gym every day and trying to work harder, not smarter. And that's what you want. And keep the sessions short. Maximum, I'm working out 30 minutes, maximum, right? I do not exercise, and sometimes less, right? Because it takes that stress off you in terms of when you've got a lot on your plate as well. So, but ideally, really, to lose weight, you just need to look at your nutrition and then get some movement in, right? Now, that's the base. And then we want some strength. There's 4 things or pillars of health, I would say. There's strength to help you with your strengths. There's VO2 max, helps you with your high intensity, that's high intensity cardio, helps you with your cardio. It's a cardio, but we want to bring up the intensity high. Now that, even though that does produce cortisol, it actually has an effect on the body too that helps you with cortisol. So you've got strength stuffs. I do two 20-minute sessions roughly. It might be a weight session, or it might be, a Pilates session. 2 of those, if I can get those in. I walk, and I walk every day, trying to get more steps in. I've got a treadmill under my desk, right? I walk around in my boxing sessions more. I'm always walking, just trying to get more steps. And then I do, and then you've got to do, so strength work, whether that be Pilates or strength sessions, very short sessions. VO2 max, very short sessions, 1 to 2 sessions a week. High intensity cardio, I do spin classes. They're not classes, they're virtual. So 20-minute, they're called a sprint class. They're very, very short. I've even got an app that I can do shorter ones again. So I'm always, getting those in. And then you've got your steady state cardio, like you're walking, just, walking, movement, all that sort of thing. And then don't forget your mobility work and your stretching. This is really, really important as we age as well, because our joints get sore, because of all the estrogen and everything. We've got to keep our body nimble. So, and sometimes you think to yourself, how do I fit all this in? But there are ways. I'm a personal trainer. I help people do that. I do that myself. We're busy. But, even if it's just getting up a little bit earlier to do that. Like I get up in the morning and do what's called a salute to sun, which is a salutation yoga. It only takes me a few minutes. I do that. And then I have, I do some breathing exercises, some little tiny bit of meditation, because I want to be, working on that before I tend to anybody else, because we tend to forget about, ourselves sometimes as women. So, it really is up to you what you want to do. But I feel if you get up a little bit early, that's another tip. If you get up a little bit early and work on yourself, whether that be walking, meditation, to bring the cortisol down and to bring you that focus in, definitely, for sure. And then, you can work on all the other things, but really just got to get that base right. Get some walking in, get some good nutrition into you, get into good healthy habits. That'll bring the inflammation down for you. And then you can work on all those other ones, but the most important is getting that base. So thanks for chiming in for Wednesday Wellness, and we'll see you next week. Have a great week, everyone.